He's rotating up. He's up above me. Oh, God. He's above me. He's above me. I'm going for him.
Uh-oh. Razor burn while playing VR? Let's see. How did we get here? Oh no. Typical noob mistake. Using your girlfriend's razor? Stop it. Get some help. Go over to manscaped.com and check out a full line of men's grooming products that actually work. Trust me, your balls will thank you. What is going on, YouTube? It's Tyler from Mission VR, where it's my mission to bring you guys good quality VR content. Hope you guys all enjoyed my little ad run for the Manscaped. Please do head over there. It does help out my channel. Today, we are going to be talking about 12 VR games you can try right now, upcoming PCVR. They are on Steam for Steam VR Summerfest, and we're going to be kind of ranking 12 games that I, tried the demos for, and we're going to rank them into 4 categories. Dog water, bad, potential, and then really good. So that's where we're gonna go. I review these 12 games, and let's go ahead and hop on into this. Make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe to my channel, and let's roll. All right, to kick off our dog water section here, we have Cyberpunk Samurai VR. I hate to trash on VR games too bad because I know people put work in them, but like this game's just bad. It's supposed to be a VR sword fighting PvP game set in a sci-fi universe, and really it's lightsaber combat against another player. Okay, yeah, the concept sounds great, only the graphics are actually horrific. I just can't even believe somebody released this in a demo thinking that, hey, this might draw attraction to my game. Honestly, it's terrible. It's laggy. The lightsaber's not even in your hand half the time. It's awful. It's just an awful game. I would not recommend wishlisting this one. All right, with the next game in our dog water section here, we have Dixotomia. Now, this is a game I actually put on my wish list because I was interested in seeing what was going on with it. This is a RPG shooter, set in a universe where you're going to be hunting down vampires as an agent of this organization. Yeah, this sounds like a cool concept, cool idea. I hopped in the demo, and the guns aren't even in your hands the right way. The aim is actually horrific. The tutorial made me do it like 5 times because, my aim wasn't efficient enough during the training section. You have to get like 100% score on the targets to even pass. And I'm like, this is so dumb. Like, I know how to shoot a VR gun, and there's just a litany of problems with this demo. And I get to the point where I'm just like asking the devs, why are you releasing a demo in this state? Like, the game's horrific. This is not 2016 VR, where in 2022 the game has to be somewhat smooth at this point, or it's going to absolutely flop. And if it's just an experiment for you, getting VR development support, then great, that's fine. But this is certainly not going in the right direction. Alrighty, and the last game here in our dog water section is Space Shells. Now, I can't really say that this game is dog water because I couldn't actually get the game to run, so there's that. Space Shells, the concept behind Space Shells seems cool. It's a roguelike kind of, invade spaceships and, take out robots and, gather loot and stuff. It sounds like a fun type of game. The graphics actually look pretty solid on the game, but I couldn't get into the game. So, unfortunately, it's dog water until further notice. Okay, kicking off our first game in the bad section here, and oh man, I just don't want to trash on these games too much. I know the developers are really working hard on them, but The Patcher. This is a game I kind of had on my wish list. Interesting concept, a PvP/PvE style game where you're kind of doing both at once. There's some PvP, and then there's, some raids where there might be some PvP and PvE involved. And the concept behind the game, 2 factions, you get to pick your faction, level up your character. It sounds pretty good. The demo was just clunky for me. I didn't really, I thought the controls were a little bit bad. The graphics, of course, weren't terrible. They worked, but then there was some real frame drop issues in some other areas. I just thought it was very clunky. Not to say that this game couldn't have some sort of future, but You know, the problem is with PCVR games like this is that if it doesn't knock your socks off, it's going to be hard because there's not going to be a player base for very long, like maybe for a week when the game actually launches. I don't know. I thought the patcher was pretty average, and it's not something that I would certainly be super excited about. All right, so with our final game here on the bad section, and this one hurts just a little bit more than the other ones because I actually had this game wishlisted and was looking forward to it, and this is Grimlord. Now, I got a preference that I don't think this game is just bad outright. You know, I think the demo may be bad. I don't know. It's hard to say with this game. I really was hoping this game was going to be, you know, kind of another version of Legendary Tales, maybe go a little bit deeper in the enemy design, you know, the actual loot system. You know, it seemed like the game was looking kind of like a Dark Souls, which I was excited about, and it might be yet in the demo, just might be a very early version. I don't know, but the combat was pretty lackluster in this. I just didn't feel the power of my character. The dungeon I was in was really basic in terms of design. I was just expecting a little bit more from this game, and like I said, it could be early on in the process. It might not be, and I wouldn't get super excited about Grimlord if it was one of the ones you were looking forward to. Okay, kicking off our list of potentially decent games that are going to release, I'm going to start with one that's kind of just made the cut, and that is going to be Mount Wingsuit 2. Now, in this game, you are just going to be basically in a wingsuit flying down a mountain in virtual reality, and there's obviously, you know, your basic objectives and whatnot. You know, it's not bad. The graphics weren't bad. The controls actually were decent. I mean, if you want a wingsuit VR experience, I mean, you're going to get it in this game, and that's why I can't say it's any better than, it's just above the cut of bad, just because it's just not my style of game. I don't feel the adrenaline rush, you know. Maybe if you're somebody who only hops into VR like once every couple months, but I play so many VR games, like this does absolutely nothing for me. So, but it's not a bad demo, and I think the game, you know, if this is your type of game, you know, then I think you're going to enjoy it. So that's why it's in the potential list. Next up, I'm sure you've already seen a couple videos on this one, but this is Requisition VR. Now, this is a 4-player zombie co-op experience that adds a lot of crafting elements to it, and this one I think has some potential. I'm definitely interested to see where this game goes. I think upon release, if it only has one map, which the one map is, you know, relatively decent, and it'll be fun with 4 players, and there's a lot of endless fun that's going to be had in this game if you have a group of friends, no doubt. Just, you know, being able to craft together a chair with knives on the bottom of it and hit zombies is certainly an enjoyable experience, but I will say that after a couple hours this will get stale, so I'm hoping that the developers have something else in mind for this game, and you know, it seems like they have a decent team, so it's definitely in the potential category, and I think Requisition's worth following for sure. Next up here, we have Tracery of Fate. Now, this is a game that low-key surprised me. I wasn't sure what to expect when I hopped in here, but this is kind of an RPG, a directed RPG game that has some, you know, interesting mechanics. I think it's going to be a nice adventure game, and the graphics were pretty solid. You're supposed to be able to play with friends throughout the campaign. So it's really going to depend on when the full game comes out. You know, the experience itself was actually really smooth. So, you know, for me, what's going to hold this game back or not is the amount of content in it, and really what you're, you know, because I didn't get to see like much of like whatever kind of type of upgrades you can get and all that stuff. Like, I didn't get to see any of that in the demo. So, you know, if there's no upgrades and you're just basically, you spawn it as a full powerful character and you just go through a level, like, not that it's bad, it's a smooth experience, but I definitely want to see what I can do in this game. So that's why it's in the potential section. Like I said, this experience was really smooth. I think it's a good game. It's definitely worth, if you're looking for an RPG adventure, you know, title, this one's definitely worth putting on the wish list. Okay, so another game we have in the potential section here, and this one really is at the very top end of the potential section and really close to really good, because if they would have just showed me any type of gameplay other than what I did get, and this is Paradox of Hope. Now, Paradox of Hope is a game I'm actually really looking forward to. It's kind of like an Escape from Tarkov to some extent. It's got that definitely that Russian vibe to it, but it's got set in a Metro style universe where, like, you are underground, you are a Russian agent, but you are going to be going out into the underground area and going on what they call raids, very similar to Escape from Tarkov, and you're going to be collecting loot and fighting monsters, and you can actually be doing this with a team of people, and it's supposed to be kind of like a survival horror game to some extent. The only reason this isn't in the really good section is because I didn't actually get to go on a raid, because the demo is only the hub area where you actually get to, you know, look at guns and buy new things and, you know, prepare for your raids. But from what I did see, the controls were really smooth. The experience was really smooth. It's full body, which is really important to me now. I'm starting to realize that seeing your arms is definitely a big thing in VR. You know, it was a nice, smooth hub area. And if the gameplay is anything like the hub area is, which I expect it to be, I think this game's going to bump right on up into the really good category. So definitely keep your eyes on Paradox of Hope. So for our last game in our potentially really good games list here, we have District Steel. Now, this game I've been following for a while. I wasn't sure if it was even still a live project, and then seeing a demo pop out for it here in the VR Summerfest was really exciting, and I hopped right in. And I'll tell you what, I had an absolute blast playing this demo. It's probably actually the most fun I had playing any of these demos, just because of the experience was smooth. I really enjoyed the combat, and there were some moments where, you know, I really felt like a badass with the slow motion. My problem with District Steel, and I do hope that they do fix this, you know, and really probably the only reason that this held this back from being on the really good, definitely wishlist this game and follow it section, is just the arm mechanics. Like, your arms are not visible. It's just, you know, a hand, and then you have this big robot arm, which is a little disorienting. And then when you go to climb objects, your hands disappear. Sometimes when you grip objects, your hands disappear, and it's just a floating, like, magazine, for example. That's definitely, at this point in VR in 2022, that is immersion breaking. And I have to say it. I mean, we're evolving video games now. You know, we would have gotten away with that in 2016 through really 2018. But, you know, as we're starting to get more games with these full arms and full hands, you know, it's really immersion breaking to see everything like that if you're holding something that's just floating there. So I definitely don't want to see that, and I hope they do fix that before the full game comes out. But I did enjoy my time playing this demo, and I think it's worth definitely giving it a shot. Okay, moving on to games that really blew me away, you know, and I think that are going to be really amazing titles when they fully release. And I mean, I was really surprised by this game, because I didn't know what to expect. It's been in development for so long. I've been following it for so long, and that is Undead Citadel. Undead Citadel, I really thought the project was dead. It's not dead. We got the finally news about that. We got a demo for Steam VR Summerfest, and the demo was actually really solid. My only complaint with this game is that there's no full arms. It's just, you know, floating hands, but it's okay. That it works for this. It's still all right. This experience was relatively smooth. I'm looking really forward to the story in this game. The combat was a lot of fun. There were some moments where I kind of was like, wow, all right, that was sweet. The physics combat was awesome, and just it's hard. The game was also hard, which I liked. This game reminds me a lot of the opening area of Dark Souls 3, and I'm really hoping it continues to go with that vibe. There's more enemies. It gets pretty challenging. I like it a lot. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the full potential of this one. The next game here that blew me away, and this is one that's been making waves across the internet now for a while, and I just haven't gotten into it at all because I figured, you know, everybody else was, but I finally did, and man, I know what everybody's talking about. Hubris. Wow, the graphics in this game are unlike anything I've ever seen in a VR game before. My machine actually was struggling to run it a little bit at times. There were some moments I had some significant performance problems, but which isn't good, which means I'm gonna have to get a new graphics card sooner than later here. My 1080 Ti just isn't holding up for some of these newer VR titles. I mean, luckily we're in this period right now where we're not getting a ton of new PCVR titles, or otherwise I'd probably have to already upgrade. But this game, wow, it blew me away. I mean, just the smoothness of it, the graphics of it, just the overall immersion factor in this game, I thought was incredibly high. I'm really looking forward to playing the full title when it does release. I think this is going to be a game that's going to revive PCVR to some extent. This is going to be a game people are going to look at and be like, well, I want to try that. And rightfully so, because it was a really full experience. I'm really looking forward to see what the campaign brings and how long of a campaign it is. Definitely really liked Hubris. I can't wait to get my hands on the full product. Okay, and with our last game here that really made some waves for me, it was Into the Darkness VR. Now, this is a physics game, and it really reminds me a lot of Boneworks in its overall design, and rightfully so, it plays like Boneworks to some extent, and it's just, The reason why this game really did it for me was, again, it's the full physics interactions that you have and the full arm mechanics and just everything. It really is that next level of immersion that I think needs to happen for all VR games moving forward. This is what's going to start separating VR titles from, you know, flat screen gaming even further than they already have. And I think that the games like this help push VR's narrative even further, where people pick it up and they're like, wow, that's an experience that I've never had before. We're like, most of us are pioneers at this point in the VR gaming space. And, you know, we've experienced a lot of these titles, and, you know, being part of the PCVR master race myself, you know, I've experienced some titles that have blown me away. And this one definitely is going to be one of those games that I think is going to be a nice showcase of what VR physics is capable of. We'll have to see what the story's like and, you know, what the actual gameplay is like. But so far, I really did enjoy the demo, and I think it's absolutely worth putting on your wish list. Well, guys, that is it for this video reviewing 12 demos on Steam VR Summerfest. Game, you know, there's some actually decent PC VR games coming out, which I'm really excited about because we haven't gotten too many of those recently. But there's actually, you know, right now we're kind of stacking up a good game lineup for the back half of the year here. There's a decent amount of titles coming out that I'm really looking forward to reviewing for you guys. So definitely keep your eye out for that. Make sure you guys do drop a like and subscribe to my channel. And if you guys are interested in help my channel out, do head over to manscaped.com and use code MISSION20 for 20% off and free shipping. Guys, it really does help my channel out. You're helping me directly out, continue to do this for you guys. So I really do appreciate that. And I will see you guys in the next one.